Folks, we're back with part 2 of the January 2020 catalog. Now, we kind of rushed through this last page, so we're going to go through it again. For some, it's going to be a refresher. For others, yeah. The security light. Now, one thing I like about these security lights that have a solar panel on them is the fact that you do not have to wire them into your house. It's pretty much screw it on and point the panel towards the sun, and it's ready to rock and roll. So if you've got an area where you can actually put the solar panel to where it actually gets sun, and you need light during the night, I would highly recommend you get something. And most of them I've seen on the market, they work just fine. And Harbor Freight, as we all know, has been stepping up their game on quality, even on their brands that they already have. So I just kind of keep that in mind. The 10-inch, 15-amp benchtop table saw for 110. You know, for an entry-level saw, that's not a bad price in my mind. Because, you know, they've got it compared to the Ryobi, which, in my mind, it's probably the best budget brand outside of Harbor Freight. Put it in the comments if you've got a different budget brand that outside Harbor Freight that you find to be better. But they've got that compared to the Ryobi at $230, so just kind of keep that in mind. So there's that. I do believe that this does not come with the blade. It already says right here, stand sold separately, so give and take. I feel that probably if you bought it at the $110 here, you probably are going to look at $30 for a good blade. The stand, so I haven't looked at the Ryobi, but if the Ryobi comes with the stand and the blade, that is competitively priced in my mind, so there's that. That's the one thing you kind of got to watch out for with some of the Harbor Freight stuff is that, yes, it is lower price, but because you got to buy extra items, sometimes the item that they're comparing it to is actually sometimes a better deal, but not always, not always. Now, they've got the vertical 708cc vertical shaft and the 670 horizontal shaft. They got the Kohler listed at $1,547. You know, let's round it off, so $1,600. I will tell you though that I have seen the Kohler engines, especially your Courage motors. I have seen them online sub $1,000, so just kind of keep that in mind. The Hondas, sometimes you can get them sub 1,000, but still. The Predators, as we all know, they are good engines from the thousands of people that buy them. I mean, I know of companies, folks, that actually have converted their entire fleet over to Predator engines. They've pulled off the Honda motors, and they've put Predator engines on their devices. And in some cases, it comes down to for them, I asked them why did they do it, and they flat out told me that for them, what they pay their shop guys to repair stuff and what it would cost them to repair it, it's cheaper for them to actually buy a Predator motor almost every year and just put a new motor on every year. Especially since the way that a lot of companies are, you know, you can pretty much tell me yourself, but, you know, the guys, they don't care about the equipment, so, you know, they'll run them out of oil, and they'll run them low on oil, and everything. So, for a lot of companies, they're going to the Predator engines not just because they're a good engine, but because of the cost to just maintain everything. So, kind of keep that in mind, folks, that not everything has to come down to quality. Some of it has to come down, some of it comes down to actual maintenance costs. So, the parabolic electric heater, it's either a 400 or a 900 watt heater, depending on what setting you got it on. For 28 bucks, actually that looks like a pretty good deal for a parabolic heater. The 12-ton industrial shop press, for 100 bucks for a 12-ton, let's just say that you probably could not build this for $100. Just saying, folks. But it's only 12 tons. Now, granted, I know that some of you are going to say, oh, well, Chris, let's pull the 12-ton out and put a 20-ton in. Well, okay, fine, but that's your call. You know, these frames are really only rated for the 12-ton. If you look at the 12 versus the 20-ton, the 20-ton is a lot heavier duty on the frame just to withstand all that tonnage. So, just keep that in mind, that when you're talking tonnage, you're going from a 12-ton to a 20-ton, and really, I've seen people pull the 20-ton out and put the 30-ton into the 20-ton frames, and the 20-ton frame will take the 30-ton jack a lot better than the 12-ton will take the 20-ton jack. Just saying, you know, but be careful out there, you know, keep your hands and feet away from flying objects and all that, okay? Do it at your own discretion, is what I'm saying. The 12-volt LED trailer light kit for 30 bucks. You know, for 30 bucks to convert your trailer from incandescence to LED, I would say go get it and convert your trailer over, because number one, these don't burn out like the incandescents do. Plus, these actually light up faster than an incandescent, so when you step on the brake, the guy behind you actually has more time to react to your lights. A little thing I found out, you know, in my readings, folks. Me imparting knowledge onto you. Oh, our favorite little generator. Now, to tell you the truth, folks, I don't think you're ever going to see this below $100 again. And I think that's just has to do with the fact that, you know, China's having to pay out more wages and all that fun stuff. So, I would still recommend it at the 110 price here. Just remember that the recoils do like to crap out on you. So if you got a way to work around that, you're fine. Okay? If you've got a way to work around that, these things, and granted they've went through several refinements, so they do have, I think we're on, what, the fourth or fifth generation of this generator. It used to be a blue one, then it went to the red one, now we're on the green one, and then there were two different iterations of the red one. So, and there's still people out there that are kicking the blue one around. So, folks, the green ones are in my opinion the better of them. They have a lot better cold starting abilities than the other ones. I don't know how they've done it, but just they do. 600-pound capacity heavy duty hand truck for $30. Does come with the 10-inch pneumatic tires. I will say this much: if you do use a hand truck outside a lot, they have the blue one with the bigger tires. I would highly recommend you go with that one over this one. But if you're using it a lot inside, you know, if it's spending 90% of its life inside, then the red one will do you just fine. Okay, two-piece polypropylene auto ramp set. Yeah. And then they got the solid steel one for $40. Okay. Folks, it's me. You know, it's probably the fact that, you know, by trade I'm a welder. So, of course, I'm gonna say get the steel ones over the plastic. But, you know, I have worked in the plastics industry, and plastic can be just as tough, if not as tough as aluminum. A lot of aluminum. The 16-inch tool bag with 6 pockets for $10. If you need a small bag, these are generally a smaller bag that you fit a couple tools in, and that's about all they're good for. But if you need a small bag, or if you need a grab bag of sorts, go watch my video on what do you have in your bag, and you'll kind of get an idea what you'd actually use that for. OBD2 code reader with ABS SRS Fix Assist for $160. Yeah, that's competitively priced with the rest of the market. Anything 96 on up sold in the United States is going to have OBD2 capabilities. It's going to have a port somewhere in the vehicle to where it's going to be able to help you diagnose the vehicle. So, a lot of these lower priced units, they generally only work with just the diagnostic side. They're not a bidirectional, so you're not going to be able to turn things on and off with it and all that. But if you just need a basic knock-arounder, go for it. Okay, 4-ton Porta-Power kit for $100. This is actually a pretty good deal. I've been wondering when the heck they were gonna bring down the price of these, because Northern Tool has theirs regularly priced at $99. So you know, 4 tons. May not sound like a lot, but it gets the job done. So, alrighty, MIG flux welding cart. This holds that black welder, but I've seen them where you can put the 140s on there. So, for 30 bucks, if you need a quick knock-around cart, yeah, go for it. The bench vices. I've been hearing mixed reviews on the bench vices. Some of them are good. Some of them are just outright horrible. So, your experience may vary. So, alrighty. The 3-ton low-profile long-reach floor jack. These are probably what you're going to see on the channel next. Hopefully. If we get the cash-olay together, folks, we're going to go get one of these. Especially for that $170 price tag. Because it goes from 3¼ inches to 24¼ inches. That means that it will go as high as the 6-ton jack stands. Just saying. Okay. Alrighty. Socket rails, 79 cents. If you need socket rail, go get socket rails. It's for those people that don't like to have the sockets rolling around in the bag. And that's about all they're good for, really. The 4-in-1 screwdriver, I will say this much. It's actually not a bad screwdriver. Like I'm saying, it's not that bad of a screwdriver. So, for 99 cents, I would highly recommend you go pick one up. V-shape hang-all. Just remember, you got to come up with your own hardware to mount the thing. 5x7 all-purpose tarp for $2. If you need a tarp, go get a... That's not a bad deal for a tarp. Knee pads. As you get older, you know, heck, I'm not even in my 30s yet, and I can already feel my knees starting to go just from working on vehicles. So, save your knees. Go buy yourself a set. 3-piece hex shank socket driver set. These are typically not impact rated, but you can kind of get away with it for a while. After a while, they just do snap. So, keep that in mind. 7-inch wire stripper with cutter. For $3, you really can't go wrong for $3. And I believe, yeah, it's got a set screw, so you can actually adjust it to where it will bring the teeth in closer together. The problem with a lot of them that are riveted is that the rivets, they loosen up, and then when you go to cut, they tweak off and they don't work. Locking pliers with pad. You know, these ones I haven't had much luck with them. They do clamp down, but they don't want to open after a while, so keep that in mind. 10-inch pneumatic tire with white hub. These are great tires for projects where you need to put tires on a cart, or you need to replace the tires on your two-wheeler. all that. Well, they're nice tires. Uh, the folding hex keys and torque set for $4.99, you really can't go wrong there. So, you know, just have something to knock around in the toolbox. Yeah, the 4.5-inch cutoff wheels, pack of 10. Some people say these things explode on them. I have yet to have one explode on me, but if they don't explode on you, $6 for a pack of 10 is not a bad deal. So, 20 bin, 2 1/4 deep part storage case for $6. That's actually not a bad deal, folks. That's really not a bad deal. Okay, automatic battery float charger. This is for when you're parking your vehicle over the winter and you know you're not going to start it. So, it's not a charger to, you know, put it on there and come back in an hour and the darn thing will fire off for you. No, this is to maintain it, folks. This is, I think I read the package, it's 2 amp charging, so 15-inch tool bag with 14 pockets for $7. These are the bigger bags, the Voyagers. They are nice. I have the biggest one that they sell, and I love it. I can shove 2 full-size welding jackets in there, and my grinder, my cutoff wheels, and the big massive one has the handle on it to where you can actually pull it around. You don't have to pick it up all the time. Just saying. Nitrile gloves for $10. They are nice, but they're comparing them to the Grease Monkey, and I've got a set of the Grease Monkeys, and they have ribbing, where these don't have ribbing. They're more medical style. They're smooth, so kind of keep that in mind. The heat gun for $10. Like I said, folks, I've left mine on for an hour, heating up a water pump to get an engine to run. So they do work very well, and I haven't had problems with mine. I know some people have, but I've got 2 of them, and they work for me. 20 fluid ounce HVLP gun. I will tell you this much from experience. They do not like to feed primer. Primer is just way too thick for them. So, lighter automotive paints probably would be best for them. Even an implement paint would probably work for it. But anything else, I would have to say pass on it. The 6-inch digital calipers with metric fractional readings. $10 for a knock-around set of calipers is a good thing. Are they going to be as accurate as a Michitoyo or a Starrett? No, but you're not paying for Starrett quality here, folks. Snap ring pliers for $10, and they got the reversing action, where what you do is it's got a lever here. It's got the lever here that you flip it, you grip it once, and it flips the heads to either an inner or an outer position. So that's how they work. So, if you're ever curious, the 30-inch by 18-inch hardwood dolly for $12. If you've got large items, then yeah, go for it. The 3/8 by 14-foot toe chain for $20. I've got one and it works very well. So just keep that in mind. 4-tier shelf rack for $14. You know, shelving racks are at other places very expensive, and you don't really get the quality for the money. So, in my mind, if these hold up in the store, they're better than anything else on the market, because you can spend double that on something from like Lowe's or Home Depot. That's just my opinion, though, folks. 15-foot, 14-gauge outdoor extension cord for $16. It is pretty light on the gauge. That's my only real concern with it. If it was a 12-gauge cord, you could find a lot more uses for it, but 14-gauge typically is your absolute bare minimum. So, yeah. 12 outlet 4-foot metal power strip for $17. Yeah, this thing is really long, folks, and it's got 12 outlets on it, and they do seem to be spaced far enough apart to where you can put big transformers on it. So, go for it if you need it. The triple ball for $20. Some people have said that they rip off. The balls rip off. I typically have only been hearing one or two of those. But the Reese is what? They got it listed for $60. The lowest I think I've ever seen the Reese is $30. So still $10 savings, yeah. Nail gun. Yeah. Siding nailer. Yeah, for 180. Uh-huh. Yeah, you got that compared to the Metabo at 370, so. 110 lumen flex light for $8. Yeah, I'd have to play with it a little, but I know several uses for that. Oh, festive bulbs. Festive. 24-foot 12 bulb color changing LED linkable string lights for $45. Oh, that's an interesting concept. We'll see how that goes. 3-in-1 quick connect light kit for $50. That's interesting. I'd like to see how this fares after usage. It's one of those things where if it doesn't hold up to the rigors of use, it's no good. And they've got it compared to the Matco light at $212. So, well, we'll see how that goes for them. Plasma cutter for $750. Yeah, you could probably do it, but the whole thing is that I think Eastwood has them cheaper. I think that they've got the 60 amp plasma for the same price. I'd have to look, but yeah. The Hobart, they've got it compared to the Hobart at $1,500. Folks, I'm going to tell you this much. You can still find the older Hypertherms for 1,500. The new XP ones, yeah, you're gonna look at well over $2,000 for them. But the older 45s from Hypertherm, they're still out there, and they're usually heavily discounted at 1,500. So if you're looking for plasma cutters, there's a whole range of options for you. Okay. OBD code reader and active tests. Okay, so this is kind of a bidirectional code reader. I'd like to know what tests you actually are able to perform with the thing before saying, oh yeah, it's great, but OBD2. That means anything built for America after 1996. Europe is actually pretty similar. A lot of Europe uses the same plug. It's just kind of different software. So, and if you get the more expensive units from Bosch and that, they do typically have the software. But in America here, you know, 270 bucks, depending on what it actually can do. 400 lumen rechargeable waterproof spotlight for 15 bucks. Yeah, for $15 you can actually do some real good camping with that. Large organizer, IP55 rated. That means that, you know, it blocks out the elements. So for $10, wow, it's actually not a bad price for that. $11.99 for the clear case from Apache. So yeah, that's actually not that bad either. So 10 bulb multicolor string lights for 13. Trying to get rid of the Christmas stuff, I guess. Okay, folks, the Quantum 140 lumen rechargeable pen light. I have been daily carrying this now for what, going on 2 months now. For 12 bucks, I would highly recommend it. It's a great light, and I'll tell you, folks, if you've still got micro USB charging on your phone, it'll use the exact same plug-in. So keep that in mind. It is micro. It's not USB Type-C. It's micro. 7.5 DA polisher. For what do they got that? They got that thing set at $90. Ooh. 6 inches, huh? That's actually not that bad of a price. Now, the one that's kind of grinding me a little bit right now is this 1/4 inch, 6.5 trim router. I think I've seen these at Menards, folks, in the Bosch for 40. So for them to shoot you a price at 60, and it gets a little tough for me. 200 milliamp hour power bank for $5. I've got the ones that Northern Tool put out for a while under their Ironton brand, which are 2600 milliamp hour, and I think I paid $10 a whack for these. So yeah, these actually are pretty nice, and it comes with a lanyard, so keep it right on your key ring. 3-stage RV leveler ramps. You know, if they're gonna hold an RV up, they probably could hold your truck up. So, you know, for $25 for a set of ramps, and comes with the wheel chokes, folks, I'm saying that's probably a decent deal for one. Drop canvases, 6x9 for $7, 4x15 for $8. Electricians multi-purpose pliers, for $17. Actually, that's a really good deal, because I paid $20 over at the auto parts store for mine. So, and they're gonna put it under the Doyle brand, then that means that you're looking at some serious quality, because the Doyle brand is what Harbor Freight uses as one of their premium brands. The Pittsburgh for $23. That's for a knockaround screwdriver set to throw in the drawer. Yeah. Oh. How far are we, folks, from the ITC stuff? Okay. Okay, we've went through most of the jacks. Let's go down to this. Okay. We're gonna look at these are off the cuff pricing. You know, these are non-coupon priced. 12 ton for $100. Aluminum, we've went through that. Transmission jacks. Okay. I'm going to tell you this much right now, folks. Unless you're absolutely strapped for cash and desperate, that's the only reason you'd want to buy this 450-pound unit. The one that you want is the 800-pound for $170. Just saying, folks. And it's not to do with the weight, it's the actual mechanism that they use. And these have a tendency to tip over. These ones have a really wide base to them. Folks, the base on this, because I own one, it's got as wide a base as the interior of this toolbox. So, where this, really, it's the size of the laptop here, folks. So, when you're talking stability, you're talking 3 times the stability. Now, if you're pulling transmissions out of diesel trucks at a Class 7 and Class 8 rigs, then yeah, 2,000 pounder is good for you. Typically, folks, you drain the fluid out of your transmission and you'll be well under the 800 pounds. I'm trying to think, even a 727 TorqueFlite transmission, cast iron case unit is only about 500 pounds. I could be wrong. Put it down in the comments. So, 800 pounds, yeah. We went through most of this in the other sections. 3 ton, yep. 4 tons. Full, or those folks that have heavy duty trucks, class 6, class 7 trucks. These are, the 4 tons are what you're looking at. And at 20 1/4 inches lift height, you're going to get underneath it, but it's going to be a little tight. You got your pneumatic jacks, your 2-ton cross beam for 50 bucks. I have yet to put mine on. I have one, and I have yet to put it on, folks. So, and then you've got your series of bottle jacks from 4 to 30, starting at $18, going all the way up to $100. So, there's places I've seen out there where you can get a 50-ton for the same price as what they're selling the 30-ton for. Just saying. The roller seats, most of them have a very low capacity, 250, 300, 350. I'd really like to see these capacities up around 450, 500 so that you can actually have heavy parts and work with them. And we've talked about these. The 20-ton over the 12-ton. Standard price on the 20-ton is $190, which, like I said, folks, it's got a heftier frame to it than the 12-ton. You walk into the Harbor Freight, and they got both of them sitting out there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Low-profile creeper for 30. Tool creeper. That's an interesting idea. For 16. Interesting. Might have to pick one up. 2-piece, 1,500-pound capacity vehicle dolly. These are the ones where you gotta lift the vehicle up yourself and shove them underneath. So, the carts. The carts are nice if you have things that you need to bring up into the air from the ground. 10-ton Porta-Power, regularly priced at $200. 26-gallon parts washer for $100. Media blasters. They got a 40-pound for $120, 110-pound for $140. Depends on how much blasting you're gonna do, folks. Engine stands. I got the 1,000 for 65. They got the 2,000 for 135. So, and like I said, folks, the 1-ton versus the 2-ton. Unless you're working with things that are sub 500 pounds, the 1-ton is not the one to get. Tire changer for 40 bucks. For those of you that need to change tires. 1,000-pound motorcycle lift for $450. That's actually not a bad deal if you think about it. Heavy duty multi-vehicle 750 high lift jack. This thing right here. This is for your ATVs and your lawn tractors. It's not meant for vehicles, so don't even think about putting your vehicles on it. Then you got your ATV jacks, 1,500 pound for $100. 15-pound motorcycle lift. I believe this one for the 180. I believe this is the aluminum one, and the one for 100 is the steel. So keep that in mind. 300-pound ATV lawnmower, $100. If you're pulling a lot of engines and transmissions out of vehicles, the 1,000-pound capacity engine support bar is probably a good idea to have. So, chain hoist, yay! Come on, folks. Come on. There we go. The Zurich stuff, the professional automotive scanner, I've actually been hearing that they're not that great, and you should just not spend your money on that. And that if you're looking at a all-in-one unit, that you should actually go and get the Autel. But because they've got it compared to the Snap-on at $4,600. So hey, $4,600 is not anything to sneeze at. But I will tell you this much: the Autel, if you want American support on it, you will be paying $2,000 for it. So you will look at double the price of the Zurich. But the Autel, from what I know, from what I've been looking at, it comes with the connectors for every vehicle, whether it's OBD1 or the newer OBD2, so that's a nice thing to have. Active test, and depends on what you are going to use it for, depends on what you will need in a scan tool. 3-job pullers, pass them by, folks. Just pass them by. The bolts break, and then you put heavier duty bolts in, and the arms break. The little thin sheets of metal break. And then, if you're like me and you got fabrication skills, you build yourself some arms out of mild steel, and then the screw goes to hell. So, bearing puller separator set, great set, folks. I can't say anything bad about it. So, and you got your fuel disconnects. They got fuel disconnects. Oh, if you're working on a lot of these newer vehicles with the plastic parts, you need to get this kit. It's pretty much a must if you're going to be doing any interior work. So you don't break the heck out of your plastic. You don't gouge the living hell out of it. For $8, it's worth it. Okay? Body and fender set, they have really improved the quality of that thing. I remember when they first brought that out, there was lots of problems with them. The castings were off. They had lots of problems. So, professional grease guns, 2.3 gallon. Yep, we've went through a lot of this. Thermometers, $30 and $60. It's good to have them, you know, folks. They're great things to have. Battery operated liquid transfer pump for $10. Actually, that's not a bad price for that. I have seen those go for as high as $50 in some places. And just like the others, you do have to give it batteries. So, vacuum pump kit. It's, the Mighty Vac and the standard one. They're both good kits, and they'll both do the job. Just one will last a little longer than the other, from what I understand. Been through the brake kits already. Shop towels, I would highly recommend. And 4-piece funnel set, yes. Big grip bucket, I have it. I've got it mounted right next to us on the up there on the wall. It works great. Those clamps, better have them than not have them. Jump starters, we went through that. All-in-ones, we went through that. We went through that. Okay. Jumper cables. Yes. Okay. Everything from $8.99 at 10 gauge to $35 for 2 gauge. 20 feet at 2 gauge. Actually, that's not that bad a price if you think about it. If you were to go out and build yourself a set of them out of 2 gauge, how much they'd cost. You got your battery charger, engine starter. The inverters, now the Jupiter ones are a heck of a lot better. They have a lot less crib deaths than the old Centec ones, and they are a lot better from what I'm understanding. If you're thinking about buying one, I would say go ahead and buy it, because they've gained a lot better quality from what I'm understanding. The old Centec ones, the ones that say Centec on them, yeah, from what I'm understanding, they had a lot of crib deaths. So, okay. Garages. They got everything from just a standard canopy to an actual portable garage. Everything. And a portable shed. 120, 160, 200. Canopies. 60 and 100. Depends on what you're using it for. Dash cams. Dash cameras are pretty much a must nowadays, almost. You know, a lot of crap happening out on the road. And if it's any good, for $80, it'll save your butt. The 12-volt auto heater and defroster with light. Bought one, and the cord gets hot. So keep that in mind, that they do get hot. Just not in the correct places. The Badlands winches. I do believe that we've went through most of them. The new Apex, it's got the nylon braided cable over the standard steel cable, so it's really, what are you looking for? And then they got the Power Sports 9000, and of course your off-road lights. Everybody's selling off-road lights nowadays. Cargo nets, cargo carriers, roof-mounted steel cargo carrier. This goes on the top of your vehicle, and if you're doing any overlanding, it's nice to have. Now, for me, I do more mud run stuff, so I don't need it, but I'm thinking about getting into the overlanding, so it might be a good idea for me to get one. The crossbars, I don't need them, because for me, the vehicles that I own that actually have roof racks already have the crossbars on them, so load distributing hitches, tow bars, 4-in-1s, 3-in-1s, all the fabulous stuff. Hitch extenders, class 3 drop hitch, loading ramps, everything from 1,000 pound at $60 to a 1,500 pound aluminum capacity for 110, 1,200 pound at 150. Ratchet straps, of course, folks. I cannot tell you enough. Go get yourself some. You will find uses for them. And then just kind of let them breed and multiply in your truck. Just saying. Okay. Folding trailers, they're on sale. They've got one for $350, one for $450. You're gaining just capacity on it, so. And then they got the little accessories to go with them, so it's nice. There we go. Air hoses, air fittings, everything that you would need to set up a new air compressor. The Diablo hoses, the rubber ones, I have yet to have a problem with mine, and like I said, mine sits out in the back end of my truck forever, so fun times. PVC, I typically do not go for PVC because of the fact that I do live in the cold climates. And in my experience, PVC air hoses have this tendency to break. So, now, on a side note though, I do have a 2-gallon air compressor with one of these coiled up polyurethane hoses, and it works great. I love it to death. And in some cases, it's the only hose that I've found that actually works in the wintertime. Just kind of a little food for thought there. The oil-free compressors, like I said, really the only reason that you buy the oil-free compressors, especially the red Central Pneumatic ones, is for the fact that you're going to be doing painting with them. You're going to be running either an HVLP gun or a siphon feed gun. Either one, you're going to want to have an oil-free compressor. Otherwise, if you're running impacts or die grinders or air ratchets, go for the black ones. Wheelbarrow compressor, 9-gallon. This is a gas-powered unit for $700. I have seen these go down, not the Harbor Freight brand per se, but other brands go down to $500. So, oil lube compressor, 8-gallon. For the $140. Like I said, there's coupons at the front of the catalog. Bring it down. The 12-volt compressors here. The yellow one for $9. Tell you the truth, folks, it does fill car tires. It's just very hard on it, and expect crib deaths if you decide to fill car tires with it. Okay, just saying. And oh, mine, the gauge is already broke. Just thought I'd let you know that, folks. The Fortress compressors. These are the best ones that they have, and in some cases, bang for buck, these are probably your best bet. Unless you want to go up and get an industrial compressor that is mounted to the floor. So, and all of these ones are oil free. So if you absolutely are going to be doing painting, folks, and you're going to be doing a lot of it, go for the Fortress compressors. Because some of the McGraw is oil lube and some of the McGraw is oil free. So you got to watch out on that. Your spray guns, they've got them all the way down to $16, as expensive as $200. They got them compared to the SATAs at $617. I have seen the SATAs go down to $450. So, yes, SATAs will go for $617, but if you do a lot of digging, and if you're at the right time of the year, the SATAs, you can get them down to $450. But, I haven't heard much about them, though. So, the Black Widow stuff. So, put it down in the comments if you do have them. I want to know. I think everybody else does. And then you've got your Central Pneumatic tools. 1/4-inch die grinders, 3-inch cutoff wheels, 4-inch cutoff wheel tools, extended reach tools, random orbit, DA, self-vacuuming, 3/8 belt sander. Got one. It works well. Pistol grip inflator, air hammer, high-speed metal saw, needle scale. Probably gonna go get that at some point, the needle scaler. So, rivet gun. Got them all on the Central Pneumatic line. And then your nailers galore. So, whether you're doing framing or if you're doing finishing work, they got you covered on all three sides. Good, better, best. One thing I would love to see, and you know what, Harbor Freight, maybe you should just send me a couple of these in your Chief line so that I can take a look at them. Especially the 3-inch cutoff wheel and the die grinders, because I would love to take a look at them. And then they've got your professional sanders. I'd love to try that Baxter there. So, and you know what? If somebody sends them to me, I don't care who it is, whether it's one of you viewers or Harbor Freight, whatever. You know what? I'll throw it on the channel. You know, folks. More information, more knowledge out there for you. Respirators. With any respirator, you better know what the heck you're doing, because if not, you can actually harm yourself. So, there's that. Safety glasses for $2. Your eyes are worth at least $2, folks. Accessory set. If you're just starting off building your pneumatic tool set, this is pretty freaking good. You know, they got it compared to the Campbell Hosnerfeld. If this was 2000, folks, you know, 20 years ago, I would have told you to go buy the Campbell Hosnerfeld over the Harbor Freight. But since Campbell Hosnerfeld's quality has kind of fallen by the wayside, go buy the Harbor Freight. It's just as good, if not better, than the Campbell Hosnerfeld. Three-piece dual air chuck tire inflator set with hose for $7. Actually, that's not a bad price. Might have to go pick one up myself. Roller stands. If you're working with sawhorses, you might want to pick up a roller stand. Okay, now this is what I was telling you folks. They got a whole line of two-wheelers. Can't talk today, folks. And they got moving blankets and everything that you would actually need to move things. So, moving dollies, folding platforms. Hey, they've even got bubble wrap. Name brand duck bubble wrap. So, rope, you know, and I believe when I looked at it, this has got a 400-pound weight rating, so not a bad weight rating. floor mats, and all that. Hearing protection. Your ears are worth at least $4, folks. Just saying. What's the capacity on the ladder? 225 pounds for the fiberglass, 300 for the little giant killer, as they want to call it. The clamping workstation. Oh, it's got a 600-pound capacity. Not bad, not bad. Heavy-duty portable scaffolding for 210, and it's got a 900-pound capacity. Wow, that's actually not a bad capacity, folks. If you're working on your house, you might want to get one. Folding, clamping, workbench with movable pegs. Yeah. Okay, the adjustable height heavy-duty workstation. I've actually got this holding my microwave, and it works flawlessly. I will tell you that much. The microwave is rock solid, and I just can't say enough nice things about it. The folding sawhorses. I keep hearing that they won't even support their own weight, so don't even bother. They got casters of all sizes and styles. They got tarps, every one of them, you know. And to tell you the truth, folks, these are very competitively priced. So if you are there, for what it's going to cost you to drive across town and go to another store, you might as well buy it, okay? Come on. Give up the page. We want to know. Give us the delicious knowledge. Gloves. Gloves. The disposable. They got 3 mil, 5 mil, 7 mil, 9 mil. Every from $5.50 to $13. So, something to keep in mind. Pneumatic tires. Face shield. This is a must if you're grinding. Because, folks, I'm here to tell you that even though you've got safety glasses on, I have just went into the booth saying, oh, I've got safety glasses on. I'm fine. And you know how many times I've been hit in the face with sparks from the grinder? Enough to burn my face, alright? So, get one. Harbor Freight bucket. Wow, they've got buckets now, folks. For $3.25. That's actually not that bad a price. The bucket lids are a little high. You can pick those up for $1 at most other places. Apache cases. They got everything from a little boy from that goes 17, 12, 6 for $60 to the big boy carry on for $100, or the big rifle case for $150. And they got the tool bags going on here. So, and then they got the service carts. I wish that they would put the single drawer on the list of multicolored units next. Just saying, I wish they did. Workbench. For those of you that are going to be working a lot with wood or with soft metals, the hardwood workbench is actually a really nice bench. I was looking at it at the Harbor Freight. For 150 bucks, I really can't see you going wrong. I've been over to Lowe's and I've seen theirs, and theirs just does not seem as sturdy as the one that you pick up at the Harbor Freight, which is a little weird for me since you pay 50. I think it's another 50 bucks more for the one at Lowe's, so I could be wrong. Multi-purpose workbench with lightning outlet for 100 bucks. Not a bad deal. And I believe this is an all steel top, so fun. Storage cabinets, parts racks. They got it all for you, folks. Oh, they got ammo dry boxes and metal ammo cans. I will say this much: the 50 cal metal ammo can, it's good. It's a very good unit. I have noticed though that versus an actual military unit, it's a little bit thinner, but it will do the job, and it does take a beating just as well. Aluminum case, non-skid mats, and let's flip them over. Okay, this is the Icon stuff. This is the stuff that, you know, they are selling you at the ridiculously low price, and they're telling you this is what we have to compete with Snap-on. And I'm going to tell you this right now, folks. If you can afford this, you know, pay it flat out or put it on your credit card versus paying a tool truck, I'd probably tell you to go buy this, okay? Because I've been looking at this stuff and the quality, I just, you know, that feel the hand stuff, it's a lot, it's just as good if not better than a Snap-on, folks. Feel of the hand. So I really, for general tools, I can't say anything bad about them, and I would love to get a set, but you know, for me, I just can't see doing it. If somebody wants to send me a set, I will freaking use the hell out of it, and I will post it on the channel, okay? So there's that. They got the Icon toolboxes. I would love to have one, but there again, I don't have the cash to afford one. But now, this is where I get to say thank you for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and stay tuned. If you're an ITC member, we're going to be doing the ITC stuff next. And then we'll move on to the back half of the catalog. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.